Okay, here we go. All right, so practices for the king. All right, so if it is safe to do so, I want you to stand up. If not, you can stay sitting and just stay nice and like grounded, essentially. Great. So I want you to take a deep breath in. Stand with strong feet on the ground and or butt on the chair. And breathing in with the intention to embody your king. Checking with how does he stand? How does he show himself? Perhaps the shoulders are back, head high. How does this centeredness feel in your body? Just tuning into the feeling of centeredness, of security, of calm, of presence. Just breathing into that feeling. Perhaps maybe a sound wants to come out. And really feeling his powerful presence. Feeling him like, how does he feel with this whole kingdom that he's looking after, with his queen to protect, his queen to honor. Great. So you can come back and take a seat. So essentially this is, you're going to get a playlist, and this is how you'll start, just with that tapping in practice, to calling in your king, essentially calling in your inner king and how he feels in your body. And you can play the playlist if you want to. And then there'll be another mirror practice. It's optional. You don't have to do the mirror part, but I find it's really helpful. Okay. So essentially, when your king is there to see your inner queen. Okay. So when you're looking in the mirror, you're seeing your inner queen and you're calling her forward into her worth. Yeah, calling her forward into her worth. And this is when you can tune into words that make you feel like a queen. You know, how would you want your king to speak to you if you were his queen? Like if you had that man like in your life, or maybe there's a partner in your life and he's showing up in his full, like this king, honor, caretaker, provider, purpose-driven man, then how would he speak? Yeah. So it might be something like, you are my queen and I'm calling you forward into our kingdom. I love you. You deserve to be worshipped. I honor you. I honor all that you are. And I stand here before you to serve you. Might be things like that. Yeah, you'll see what wants to come through. If you get stuck with the words, just focus on the embodiment of the feeling. And if you just have to do that for 5 minutes and just saying, I'm calling forward my king. That's fine if it's all you can do. And then try and open the eyes and just eye gaze with yourself. Yeah, so I did this the other night with my inner masculine lover, and I eye gazed, and I actually, my whole face started to change, and I could just see I looked like a man. Like it was a bit freaky at first. And my whole face changed, and I was like, whoa. And then I just came out with these words that were like, you are a goddess. And it was like, these words were just like full transmission, like in the mirror. And I just had it with it was actually really beautiful, with the lights were off, and it was just with a candle. And when you do that with a candle, like, it's amazing the shapes that come out. Yeah. So then once you've done some words, so again, these are optional. These are just some ideas for you guys. So is tuning into how do you want to be touched? How does your king want to touch you? Really tuning into presence, honor, reverence, and worship. Yeah. And then if you want to, what you can do is, and because I've been doing my morning practice after I get out of the shower, and I stand like essentially naked in front of the mirror. And then what I tuned into is like tuning into like what clothes do you want to wear that's going to make you feel like royalty. And it might just be something you adorn yourself with. Like it might be a necklace or something. It might be an item of clothing that just makes you feel that little bit extra like royalty. Or is it maybe your king is choosing for you to be like, I want you to wear this today. Like this is just something added piece. This is going to make you feel that royalty. So so this is the morning practice, 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, you can do it at night too, by the way. If your morning's a bit hectic and you're not sure you can do it at nighttime. I find it's a great way to start the day of really going into that. So one of the things that I got given by a friend of mine, Chantel, she was helping me journeying with the stepping out of my caretaker. And one of the practice that she gave me was to stand in front of the mirror and say, today is going to be a powerful day where I'm sitting in my truth. I am no longer a caretaker. I am a queen. I'm a queen who knows that she is worthy of love. Yeah. So, and then, my journey with this has been to be around people who honor me, honor my worth. Yeah. And to set boundaries around those who aren't. Yeah. To check in with my relating and my receiving as much as I'm giving, and only working and being around people that are worthy of that. So, so boundaries is really important here as well. So, so the next practice that we're going to do is actually around asking for what you need. So the king energy is like, I need this, I want this, bam, I'm going to go get it, I'm going to ask for it. Yeah. This is certainty. It's like, I'm just doing it. None of this question of like, oh, I can't ask for that, I don't know, like, or maybe I'll just do it myself. Like, no. Like just go certainty. Like, so you also really start catching yourself when you're feeling a bit uncertain, what's really behind that. Is there some vulnerability there? And really address and speak to that. So so essentially with the communicating, what I want you to do this week is look at where there's areas or people in your life that you need to ask for help, or you need to ask for something, because the king doesn't do everything himself. He like to be looking after your queen and honoring your queen. He needs to delegate some other shit that he probably really doesn't need to be doing, right? So you delegate, like this means asking for what you need. So essentially how the communication goes is that, getting clear on what you need, getting clear on how that would make you feel, and what it would provide for you, and asking, are you able to do this by this date? Yeah. So, it's like making sure that you're looking after yourself and your needs, but you're also willing to ask for help and support from a place of this feeling. Yeah. It's also speaking to how you being true and real with like how you are feeling. Yeah. So for example, if you are feeling frustrated or disappointed by something, it's like saying, hey, I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling disappointed. What I need from you is XYZ, and it will provide this for me. And the other added piece to that is sometimes people might not be available to meet your needs. And there's a question you can add in there, just saying, is there anything that you need from me? Yeah, because sometimes there can just be a fear in the space. And a friend of mine, Emily, she speaks a lot to this. And actually, I'm interviewing her and her partner as well. We're going to be doing an interview on how some of these energies play out in relationship between men and women. So she speaks to that. The great example she gives is that, you might be asking something from someone and they kind of say no, but the no is coming from there's a fear underneath it. There's a fear that they might lose something. So it might be that they're afraid they'll lose their freedom, or so there'll be an expectation or something like that. So the other person might need to know that if they do help you, that it's not going to then be an expectation. And this is just an example, an expectation, or that it might have to be at a certain time. Yeah, I can help you, but I'm not going to be available until this time, right? So, and these will all be in the notes. So this is just, I want you to look at where in your life are you not being direct or not being direct with what you're asking, and avoid going into story. Like, just be direct. Like, I need this. This is how it will make me feel. This is what it provide for me. Are you able to do that? Yeah. And often we go into the story, and it's the feminine within us goes into a story. Well, I've had this thing going on, and then this happened, and la 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 la, and there's this whole big discussion about it because we've got to back up and justify why we need help. Like, when really, if we like, and usually people are like, okay, just get to the point. Like, tell me what you need. Like, come on. Like, especially men, they're like, what do you need? Like, what's the problem? Just tell me. And we're in this big long story about this big long backstory with lots of details. Yeah. So being direct, try being direct. Really try being direct this week. Direct, and come from that like place of certainty, and be willing to hear no. That's the thing. Like a king is so willing to hear no, right? Now, you're also going to be doing this within your own inner marriage. Okay, so some of you may not be married with your masculine and feminine. That's okay. They're definitely having a relationship, but we're going to call it inner marriage counseling. Okay, so and actually, I feel like this is even more important than the conversations outside of your, like, in the outside world, right? So I'm going to do a separate video on this because there is a practice that involves some chairs, and I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to do it myself, and as we go, I'll kind of be guiding it. So essentially, you will be sitting down with your masculine and feminine, or your king and queen. Now, you can do it, you might just want to do it as your masculine and feminine, or you might want to actually be your king and queen. Okay, just I would probably do both at some stage, but seeing which ones feel kind of the most alive, right? So what you'll do is you're going to hear from each of them what each is actually needing from the other. Yeah. And if there's any thing alive. So because I've noticed in the group there's been some sharings around getting stuck and struggling, and this is a great opportunity that if there are struggles, that you can have this conversation between your masculine and feminine to be able to clear whatever might be in the way. Because it might be like, I think I spoke to this other day, but it might be like the masculine might be like, I don't want to do these practices because you've been ignoring me, right? Like, it might be like, I don't want to give to you. You've been using me or ignoring me, and that might be what's in the space, right? So just think about it like it's like an outside relationship, and it might be really resistant, right? Or it might be like a little boy and be like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I'm like still figuring this shit out, and I feel nervous and scared and blah blah, like whatever was to come. And then he might go, well, I need appreciation. I need to hear appreciation to build my love cup up so that I can actually be present. Yeah. Or I need, the first time I did this, my feminine was pissed. She was so pissed that my masculine was out being, so my masculine was the king, right? But it was all about the kingdom. And she was pissed. She was like, I miss the, like, what about me? Like, you're just ignoring me. and so he had to kind of rein it in and come and give her attention. And they had to make some agreements. Yeah. So we had they had both had the conversation with, okay, well, this is what I need. This is how it will make me feel. This is what it will provide for me. Are you available for that? Yeah. And then in the practice, then the feminine also spoke to that as well. Okay, this is what I need. So you make agreements between the masculine and the feminine. Now you're also the counselor. Okay, so you have 3 chairs set up. Okay, so this is when we do the practice. You have 1 chair for the feminine, 1 chair for the masculine, and 1 chair for the counselor. Yeah, and you will move between all 3 chairs. Yeah, and as you breathe in and feel into each one, then I will, like, you'll see this process me do, and I'll have it all like written out for you. You'll notice how you feel so different in each chair and how things just come out. Yeah. So there doesn't have to be any, like, this is not like aspecting where you, for those of you that have done aspecting with me, where you really get in the emotional release tools and you can really get into anger and rage, and this is not like that. However, if it's there, feel free to bring that out. If you're feeling emotionally charged, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling angry, if it's coming up, feel free to express that. Okay, so feel if it's there. Yeah, so Carmen used that as a similar aspect. Yeah, it's similar, but not with all the emotional release. It's not really about that. It's really just about, like, it's like you're in a counseling session. Just imagine like you're there with an actual counselor, except you are the counselor and both 2 other people. So, and by the end, you want to have to come to some agreements about what you need to do to show up, what you're agreeing to support each other. Yeah. So that's that practice. And then the final one is having a self-love date with your king and queen. Yeah. So, and this might be nice after you've had your counseling session. It doesn't matter what order you do it in, but it might be better after your counseling session so that you can go there more fuller. And essentially, it's the king is organizing for his queen. So, he's setting up the space like a temple. He's setting it up for his inner queen. And again, it's what I spoke about earlier. It's like treating her, looking after her, decorating it, making it luxurious, even if it's just, a few flowers or candles. How does your queen want to be treated? Like what's going to make her feel really like honored and worshipped? So, again, wear clothes that make you feel like royalty. Wear something that feels like really like high quality. Play music that activates your king lover energy, and you can use the playlist, but there might be other stuff that feels like really like king lover for you, and setting the intention to embody the king lover. And then from there start to move like into some kind of movement, like starting with that practice. We did it, the daily practice, but then from there I want you to bring in more movement and dance and bring in the 5 senses. So the king lover is very sensory, so you might want to have food to taste, smells, exploring the whole body, moving, eating, dancing, singing, really involving all expressions. And so we want to, the whole idea is to invoke the energy of honor, reverence, worship, and listening moment to moment what the body wants, because this is the sensitivity piece. So it could be that your queen just wants to be held, or wants to be like really, really softly touched. So it's listening to, it's like really going into the sensitivity of the body. It's down the body, sensitivity and presence, and I'm feeling like this kind of slowness. And so again, like at least like half an hour. If you want to do what I did, you could take yourself away for a night, but at least allow half an hour. So that other practices for this week. So what have we got? We've got daily embodiment practice. We've got, being direct and asking for what you need. And then inner marriage counseling and the self-love date, self-pleasure date. Yeah, and when I say self-pleasure, it doesn't necessarily have to mean genital touch. So it may be for you, but it could just be like just being present to your body, the awareness of your body. It could just be eye gazing. It's going to be however it is for you. So don't feel any pressure that it has to look a certain way. And maybe when you do the inner marriage counseling, you might like make some agreements on what you're going to do together, right? How you're going to spend that quality time together. Yeah. And again, it doesn't have to be in that order. You might decide that you want to, that you want to do the self-love date first, and that's fine. But if you are struggling with that, I would definitely go into doing the counseling first. Cool. So that is all the practices. I'm going to stop recording.